If you are a fan of Game of Thrones, you will undoubtedly be captivated by ancient Chinese history. While Game of Thrones revolves around the struggles of seven kingdoms, in China 2,500 years ago, dozens of states were engaged in overt and covert rivalries, playing out a real-life version of the Game of Thrones. Nominally, these states submitted to the supreme authority of the Zhou Son of Heaven. But as their power grew, they increasingly disregarded the Zhou King's authority. Today, we will delve into the story of one of the major feudal states, Zheng, and its war with the Zhou King of that era. If you were left unsatisfied by the disappointing conclusion of Game of Thrones Season 7, or if you still crave more of its intricate storytelling, welcome to follow me as I narrate the Chinese version of the Game of Thrones, a tale with even more dramatic twists and turns. Last time we spoke of how Kong Fujia of Song, after writing battle tomorrow on the challenge letter, rallied his troops, retreated 20 li, set up camp, prepared meals, and planned to rest through the night before engaging Duke Zhong of Zheng in decisive battle the next day. As darkness fell and camps were just established, war horses were unharnessed from chariots and tethered at troughs for feeding. The quicker cooks had already prepared meals, while slower ones still had rice cooking in pots. Kong Fujia also removed his battle attire, wanting to catch his breath. Just as he was about to sit down, sudden drum beats erupted from behind the camp. He rushed out of his tent to see distant flames lighting the sky. Then panicked messengers reported that large Zheng forces were attacking. Kong Fujia urgently ordered preparations for battle. At this moment, soldiers couldn't don armor. Horses remained unsaddled, and chariots weren't properly harnessed. All were bewildered and at a loss what to do. Furious and anxious, Kong Fujia didn't even armor up but grabbed his halberd, mounted a chariot, and charged through the camp gates toward the enemy. He drove toward the flames, but shortly after advancing, the fires suddenly extinguished, cannon fire ceased, and battle cries stopped. Ahead lay only darkness and desert-like silence. Losing his target and finding no opponent, Kong Fujia turned his chariot back toward camp. Just as he approached the camp, artillery erupted from the left flank with blinding flames and continuous battle cries. Enraged, Kong Fujia immediately charged leftward. But after advancing some distance, the left side fires again vanished abruptly, with all sounds ceasing. He could only turn back toward camp once more. As his chariot re-entered the gates, artillery sounded from the right with flames illuminating heaven and earth in crimson glow. Like an enraged lion, Kong Fujia dashed left and right until exhausted. Only then did he realize, this is Duke Zheng's cunning deception tactic. Nobody move without orders. Those who disobey will be executed. No sooner had he given the order than left side flames reignited with approaching battle cries. Following their commander's order, none dared move. Soon soldiers frantically reported, "Left camp has been raided." Hearing this, Kong Fujia flew into a rage, ordering immediate counterattack while shouting at his charioteer, "Full speed left, I'll rescue the left camp myself." In the pitch darkness with flickering flames and unfamiliar paths, the charioteer circled several times before losing direction, galloping recklessly rightward instead. There they encountered approaching troops. After a night-seeking combat without success, Kong Fujia finally unleashed his fury upon them. Fighting with all his strength, both sides suffered heavy casualties before realizing they were attacking their way allies. After identifying each other, they combined forces. Kong Fujia turned back toward the left pursuit, but midway encountered another force blocking the path, bloodlust overwhelming him. Kong Fujia charged without parley, swinging his long halberd until horses fell and chariots overturned. Only after prolonged fighting did he realize these weren't Zheng troops but allied Kai reinforcements. Consumed with regret, Kong Fujia had fought all night without killing a single Zheng soldier while inflicting heavy losses on his allies. Exhausted and furious, he lacked strength for further combat. Wanting camp rest, he found the central camp already occupied by Zheng General Gao Zumi, with nowhere to go as he turned his chariot. Zheng forces under Ying Keisho attacked from the right while Gongsun, Yeah. Struck from the left. Gongsun. Yeah. Engaged right Zai Chu while Ying Keosho fought Kong Fujia. Blades and spears clashed until dawn approached. Utterly exhausted and unwilling to continue, Kong Fujia broke through and fled. Not far away, he encountered Gao Zumi's forces. Mustering final strength, he fought briefly before realizing he couldn't prevail. Abandoning his chariot to escape on foot with only a few followers remaining, Right Zai Chu fell in battle. Their soldiers, chariots, and equipment all became Zheng's spoils of war. Duke Zhong of Zheng captured Dai City while seizing Song, Wei, and Kai's weapons and provisions, achieving complete victory. He ordered grand feasts to reward the soldiers, feeling thoroughly satisfied. Ministers competed in praising, "Our Lord triumphs in every battle and conquers every fortress," commanding awe across the land, truly worthy of being the leading feudal lord. Hearing these compliments, Duke Zhong felt somewhat carried away. Only Ying Keosho remained silently apart. When asked why, he replied, "I fear my words would be untimely." When all celebrate victory preferring pleasant words, better remain silent. Duke Zhong had always respected Ying Keosho. Knowing he held different views, he encouraged frank speaking. Ying Keosho said, "My lord cannot yet be complacent, nor is this time for mere praise. As leader of feudal lords, your orders should be universally obeyed without exception. But what is the reality? You claimed the king's mandate to punish Song, yet Kai and Wei instead helped Song attack Zheng. Small states like Cheng and Zhu openly defy your orders. The leader of feudal lords, the hegemon, should not face such resistance." Hearing this, Duke Zhong stood and grasped his hand. "You speak truth, our hegemonic cause remains distant. Now Kai and Wei are defeated, receiving minor punishment. Zhu and Cheng, who disobey orders, deserve punitive campaigns. Which should we attack first?" Ying Keosho replied, "My lord shouldn't focus solely on attacking small states, but devote main efforts to strengthening national defense. When our country grows powerful, outsiders won't dare bully us while small states naturally submit. I hear the Zhou king is angry about our using his banner against Song, threatening to punish us. We must prepare." Ying Keosho's words reminded Duke Zhong such massive mobilization couldn't escape King Huan's notice. The king indeed said angrily, "I never ordered Song punished. Duke Zheng using my banner to attack another feudal lord ruins my reputation. How can I tolerate such deception? As son of heaven, his position should be supreme. Since King Wu established the dynasty, the principle all under heaven belongs to the king. All lands, shores, host his subjects remained unbroken. None dared openly deceive their ruler. Previously, Duke Zheng seizing the king's wheat and rice already breached propriety. Now falsely using the royal banner to attack cities and states made King Huan unable to endure this anger. In fury, he stripped Duke Zheng of all court positions, replacing him with Duke Linfu of Guo to administer the court. When Duke Zhong heard about his dismissal, he erupted in anger, thinking, "Fine. You dismiss me, I'll never attend your court again. You remove me as minister, but I never respected you as king anyway." From that day, Duke Zhong avoided the Zhou court for 5 consecutive years. His absence signaled broken liege-vassal relations. He no longer obeyed the king's commands. King Huan most feared feudal lords disregarding his orders. With Duke Zheng leading this example, wouldn't it damage his authority? He swore angrily, "This is utterly disrespectful. If I don't punish him, other states will follow suit. What heavenly authority remains? Without majesty, commands go unheeded, destroying all order. I must personally lead armies to punish him." Growing angrier until speech failed, King Huan's rage became uncontrollable. Duke Linfu of Guo cautiously advised, "Duke Zheng's 5-year absence is indeed disrespectful and merits punishment. But his family served as ministers for generations after dismissal. He acts from momentary frustration. If you must punish him, send an envoy with reprimands. No need for military mobilization. Moreover, as ruler of 10,000 states, why personally handle such minor matters? King Huan's temper proved hard to calm. Duke Zheng pushes too far, he has repeatedly scorned the court. This time I won't spare him. Several ministers gently urged restraint, but the king refused. My decision is final, say no more. King Huan ordered proclamations commanding Kai, Wei, and Chen to jointly attack Zheng. When the king's order reached Chen, its ruler had recently died with a new lord just installed amid national instability. Though lacking strength for expedition, compelled by royal command, Chen reluctantly assembled some chariots and soldiers under Minister Bo Yuanju's leadership. Kai and Wei also felt unable to defy the king's order, temporarily gathering troops to join the campaign. King Huan himself, besides his guards, lacked strong combat forces. But combined with troops from Chen, Wei, and Kai, the numbers remained substantial. Personally leading the royal army alongside Chen, Kai, and Wei forces, King Huan announced the campaign against Zheng in 707 BC. King Huan divided this 100,000-strong army into 3 routes. He commanded Duke Linfu of Guo to lead the right army, with the forces of Kai and Wei supporting the right army's operations. He ordered Duke Haijian of Zhou to command the left army, with Chen's troops accompanying the left army. King Huan himself commanded the central army's main force while coordinating both flank armies. After completing deployments, in autumn of 707 BC, they marched directly towards Zheng. The massive army advanced grandly under the banner of the Son of Heaven, launching punitive expedition. After several days' march, they reached Rouge at Zheng's border. When Duke Zhong of Zheng heard King Huan personally led combined forces from Chen, Wei, and Kai to attack Zheng, he urgently summoned ministers to discuss countermeasures. Everyone was too terrified to propose ideas. None had heard of anyone daring openly resist the royal army. Thus all ministers felt extremely anxious. Duke Zhong said, "The Zhou king leads over 100,000 troops towards Zheng. What strategies should we adopt? Please speak freely." Those present glanced at each other, remaining silent for quite some time amid intense tension. Duke Zhong urged, "Speak your thoughts directly. Whatever ideas you have, propose them now, time is pressing." After prolonged silence, someone whispered, "When the royal army comes to punish, we should only plead guilty, not confront them. Resistance would only increase our culpability." Another said, "Bringing gifts to apologize might turn the Zhou king's forgiveness. Fighting the royal army constitutes rebellion against superiors, violating propriety." A third added, "The royal army exceeds 100,000 while Zheng has merely tens of thousands of soldiers. Resistance would be like eggs striking rocks." Another cautioned, "Besides violating propriety by fighting the king, the force disparity is too great. If defeated, Zheng would be completely finished." Duke Zhong listened without commenting. Minister Yuan Fan synthesized these opinions. "The king personally leading troops to punish us is extraordinary. He condemns our failure to attend court or pay tribute. Using this justification to command various states to attack us appears righteous and proper. No state dares disobey. Hard resistance likely won't succeed, thus we should apologize. Subjects pleading guilty to their ruler is normal. This could spare us military suffering." Duke Zhong heard this without response. Xia Shuing opposed this approach. "This won't do. The king stripping our lord of court position was already unreasonable. Now sending troops to attack us makes Zheng's past service to the court completely meaningless. If we don't blunt his momentum now, he'll find excuses to attack us whenever issues arise. Will Zheng ever know peace?" Growing increasingly agitated, he stood waving his hand. "Grant me several war chariots, my lord. I'll immediately rout these makeshift royal troops." Duke Zhong still remained silent. Ji Zhong said, "Nominally speaking, we're subjects while the Zhou king is ruler. Fighting the royal army lacks moral justification in public opinion, but the king overestimates his strength. We've yielded to him numerous times. Previously, when we attended court, it was our initiative to show closeness to the royal house. Yet he failed to treat us with proper ruler-subject etiquette, making many sarcastic remarks and publicly mocking us. Not only that, he mocked us further by sending 10 cartloads of grain. 5 years ago, he promised us 12 cities from Su Fensheng in exchange for 4 of our cities. We handed over our 4 cities, only for them to claim those 12 cities didn't belong to the royal house, cheating us out of 4 cities. Remembering this, I agree with Xia Shuing's view, but I disagree with his method, rushing alone to confront the enemy. We must first prepare thoroughly before engaging. Duke Zhong always respected Ji Zhong's wisdom, yet still didn't respond after hearing him. General Gao Zumi said, "In my view, though numerous, the royal army isn't fearsome. Chen originally held no grudges against Zheng. Their mobilization stemmed from royal coercion. They won't fight us wholeheartedly. Moreover, Chen's troops dislike their new ruler and won't exert themselves for him. We should take some precautions against Kai and Wei's forces. Their newly arrived troops, personally led by the king, currently show high morale. We shouldn't engage immediately but should deepen moats and heighten walls, defending firmly until their fighting spirit wanes. Then we can decide whether to fight or negotiate." Gong Ziyuan disagreed with Gao Zumi's assessment. Before Gao finished speaking, he interjected. "Fighting the royal army requires quick resolution, not delay. We must confront them immediately. They divide into 3 armies. We should meet them with 3 of our own. Both flank armies should form square formations to engage their left and right armies respectively. Our lord should personally lead the central army against the king's central forces." Seeing everyone had expressed their views and most favored resistance with specific tactics, Duke Zhong finally revealed his agreement. "Everyone's arguments have merit. We cannot sit waiting to be bound. But Gong Ziyuan's suggestion of matching their 3 armies with ours requires refinement. We have fewer troops, can evenly distributed forces achieve victory." Gong Ziyuan immediately elaborated. "Though we appear to match their 3-army formation, we must actually concentrate forces for breakthrough points." He analyzed the king's troop composition and proposed specific deployments. Chen's newly installed ruler Gongzi Tuo seized power by killing his nephew. The people reject him. His hastily assembled troops disobey him. With low morale and no will to fight, this constitutes the royal army's weakest component. We should avoid strength and strike weakness. First, concentrating forces to surprise attack Chen's contingent, deploy strong forces with fierce assault to crush them instantly. After defeating this unit, turn to attack their central army, the king's own forces. Gong Ziyuan gestured emphatically while explaining, fearing misunderstanding. Seeing Duke Zhong nod, he continued, "While Chen's army collapses, another force must launch fierce assault against Kai and Wei's troops. Seeing Chen's rout, Kai and Wei's forces won't hold ground. After their defeat, this attacking army must also turn to pincer the central army. Simultaneously, our lord leads the central army in attack, thus 3 armies converge on the king's central force. By then isolated, the king's troops face our concentrated forces. Certain victory awaits." Duke Zhong nodded repeatedly. During discussions, scouts reported the Zhou army has already deployed formations at Rouge. Duke Zhong told everyone, "We don't seek war, the king forces us to fight." 3 generations of Zheng leaders served as ministers, achieving great merits for the court. This king not only constantly belittles Zheng but sends troops to attack us. Without resistance, our nation cannot survive. If we don't stand firm now, other feudal states will also despise and bully us. Moreover, if the king wins now, he'll not only continue oppressing us but also bully other states. Our resistance defends Zheng's rights and all feudal states' rights. This time we hold justice while the king doesn't. Righteous lords understanding the truth will support us. We cannot accept oppression arbitrarily." Duke Zhuang's speech motivated all ministers and officers, making them righteous and confident. Warriors clenched fists, preparing for decisive battle to win honor for Zheng and justice for all states. With consensus reached, Duke Zhong deployed troops for battle. During departure, he ordered vanguard units to raise high the by order to punish crimes banner to boost morale. Ji Zhong advised, "Don't use this banner. When we attacked Song under this by order to punish crimes banner, it enhanced our prestige and intimidated enemies. But now fighting the royal army, the same banner becomes ineffective or even counterproductive. Duke Jung responded happily. Fortunately, you reminded me I'd forgotten this. He immediately ordered the by order to punish crimes banners stored, using only various unmarked flags instead. After full preparation, he finally ordered the army to advance toward Rouge for battle. Before combat, Duke Jung led Jizong and generals to high ground overlooking enemy formations, pointing at deployment patterns. He told generals, the Zhou army's left route under Duke Haijian of Zhou relies mainly on Chen's troops. We must concentrate forces to first break the Zhou left camp. When attacking the left camp, focus strength to assault Chen's positions first. Attack fiercely and crush them completely in one strike. Who can accomplish this task? Before finishing, Minister Man Bo stepped forward. This general volunteers. Duke Jung assigned him to lead the right army against the enemy's left forces. Instructing, after routing Chen's army, don't pursue far, return quickly to pincer the king's central army. Man Bo accepted orders and departed. Duke Jung then ordered Chief Minister Ji Zhong to lead the left army against the enemy's right forces. Instructing, first display offensive posture without immediate attack. When Chen's army collapses on the battlefield, seize the moment for fierce assault, target Kai's troops specifically. Kai's forces also serve perfunctorily. Soldiers won't fight desperately. Seeing Chen's retreat, your charge will make them flee. With Kai's defeat, Wei's army won't engage further either. After both retreat, don't pursue far, quickly turn back to pincer their central camp after giving instructions. Duke Jung personally led Gao Zumi, Yuan Fan, Zhu Dan, and other generals to attack the king's central army. According to the military formations commonly used at that time, King Huan of Zhou deployed his troops in the Wild Goose Formation. This was a traditional battle arrangement where the central army served as the main force. Positioned slightly forward like the head and body of a wild goose, the left and right armies provided support. Positioned slightly rearward like the two wings of a goose, this formation was particularly effective during offensive operations. Duke Jung of Zheng, on the other hand, arranged his troops in the fishnet formation. His central army was positioned slightly back, while the left and right armies advanced forward like the drawstrings of a large fishing net. The organizational structure also differed. Every 25 armored chariots formed one company, with each chariot manned by 5 soldiers organized as a squad. Behind each chariot followed 25 armored infantrymen as reserves who could immediately replace any casualties on the chariots. This fish net formation created an extremely tight and secure arrangement. Swift and powerful during offense while maintaining flexible deployment capabilities. During defensive operations, enemies found it difficult to breach. In battle, the left and right armies would first violently assault the enemy's weak points before wheeling back to envelop the enemy's central army. Much like fishermen hauling in a large net to catch fish. This was Duke Zhuang's innovative tactical response specifically designed to counter the wild goose formation after carefully observing the enemy's deployment. King Huan, considering himself the supreme son of heaven, believed that according to ancient rituals governing ruler-subject relationships, anyone punished by royal decree should not resist but only come forth to confess guilt. When he heard that Duke Jung not only refused to surrender but actually led troops and deployed formations to engage in battle, he was so enraged that he nearly burst. He insisted on personally going into battle to confront Duke Jung and determine superiority. King Huan, then in his prime, looked down upon the elderly Duke Jung. Duke Linfu of Guo hurried forward to advise him, "Your Majesty should not act in anger first. Tomorrow, when formations are complete, our generals will naturally engage him in battle. Why trouble yourself to fight personally?" But King Huan's anger remained unabated. The next day, Duke Jung issued specific tactical instructions to each army before ordering. All units maintain your formations strictly according to the signals from the Central Army's command banner. Execute plans according to signals, do not act rashly without them. Before sending his troops, King Huan had prepared a proclamation condemning Duke Jung. intending to read it aloud when Duke Zhong appeared on the battlefield denouncing his faults and declaring his crimes. This would serve both to expose Duke Zhuang's wrongdoings to everyone and to boost his own soldiers' morale when they heard it. If Zheng soldiers heard the proclamation and realized their ruler's unjust actions, their fighting spirit would collapse. Though King Huan had prepared thoroughly when the two armies faced each other in formation, Duke Zhong had his soldiers hold their positions without any movement whatsoever. King Huan's central army advanced prominently forward, seeking response from Duke Zhong. But Duke Zhuang's central army remained in the rear, not advancing forward and certainly not coming out to respond. Seeing no one emerging to face him, all of King Huan's preparations came to nothing. This made King Huan even more furious, causing him to rage violently as he sent messengers to challenge Zheng to battle. Despite several challenges, no one came out to respond. The two armies stood facing each other from early morning until afternoon without engaging in combat. The Zhou army issued challenges, but no one responded. When they drove troops to assault Zheng formations, Zheng soldiers held their positions steadily without moving. Zhou troops charged several times but found no opponents. Initially, soldiers had some vigor during charges. But after several attempts without finding opponents and several assaults without breaking the enemy formation, their morale gradually slackened. In the afternoon, Duke Zhong saw that the Zhou army had grown lax. He ordered Xia Shuing to wave the central command banner according to the predetermined signals. Zheng soldiers, all in high spirits while waiting to attack, had been staring intently at the command flags without blinking. When they saw the central command banner issue the attack signal, the energy pent up all morning suddenly erupted. Left and right armies charged out like wolves and tigers. The earth shook with drum beats as battle cries pierced the heavens, soldiers rushing toward Zhou camps like arrows. Manbo led Zheng's right wing directly attacking the Zhou army's left flank. The Zhou left flank had Chen's troops at the front and Duke Haijian of Zhou's forces behind. Chen's soldiers originally had no will to fight, and when they saw Zheng troops charging like a sudden storm, they immediately fell into chaos. Without even engaging in combat, soldiers turned their chariots around and fled. As Chen's troops fled, they disrupted Duke Haijian's forces, who also began scrambling to escape. Duke Haijian tried to stop his fleeing troops, but with defeat spreading like a landslide, how could he stop them? The Zhou left flank completely collapsed. When Jizhong learned of the Zhou left flank's rout and saw the central command banner's signals, he immediately led his troops to attack the Zhou right flank. He bypassed Du Clinfu of Guo, charging directly toward Kai's forces. The armies of Kai and Wei were also only nominally complying with royal orders. They could cheer and advance following victories. But when defeat came, they fled especially quickly. At this moment, Zheng soldiers charged into Kai's camp like hungry tigers pouncing on prey. Kai troops couldn't withstand the assault, soldiers scattering to find escape routes. As Kai troops fled, some Wei soldiers who hadn't even been attacked also began running. Du Clinfu of Guo, seeing this situation, stood before the formation with sword in hand, shouting, "Those who dare flee will be executed." But he could only command Zhou troops. Kai and Wei forces didn't obey his orders, fleeing like a swarm of bees. As Kai and Wei troops fled, they disrupted Du Clinfu of Gu's formations, who also began retreating in defeat. Jizhong led troops in pursuit for a while before immediately turning his chariots around to surround and attack King Huan's central army. King Huan, in the central army, heard earth-shaking drumbeats and knew Zheng troops were engaging in battle. He again ordered an attack. Soldiers who had been assaulting for half a day without Zheng resistance had now grown lax, and their men and horses were somewhat tired, suddenly facing this unexpected fierce assault. And seeing both flank armies defeated, they immediately fell into chaos. Zheng troops charging in were like wolves among sheep. Zhou troops barely managed a few rounds of fighting in their haste but couldn't withstand the assault, each seeking escape routes. With the central army defeated, King Huan's forces completely collapsed. Seeing this situation, just as King Huan was about to order retreat, Zheng's left and right armies simultaneously surrounded them like walls blocking Zhou escape routes. King Huan mounted his chariot and saw Zheng General Zhu Dan pursuing closely ahead while Yuan Fan followed behind. Zheng's men Bo and Ji Zhong also closed in from left and right, trapping King Huan's army in the center until Zhou forces suffered overturned chariots, fallen horses, dead generals, and perished soldiers. King Huan could only fight his way out. After struggling left and right without getting far, Zheng General Xia Shuing blocked his path ahead, leaving the king no escape route. Fortunately, Duke Linfu of Guo fought through from the side, protecting the king as they fled westward. Not far into their escape, Zheng minister Ji Zhong led troops blocking their path. King Huan thought he couldn't escape this time. But just as he panicked, he fortunately encountered Duke Haijian of Zhou Midway, who fought open another path. King Huan now cared about nothing else, only urging his charioteer to whip the horses faster. Zhu Dan, seeing the Zhou Central Army defeated, urged troops in close pursuit. After chasing a while, he spotted distinctive clothing on a distant chariot and guessed it must be the Zhou king. The closer he pursued, the clearer the view became. He then hung up his large knife, took out his bow and arrows, knocked an arrow, drew the bow fully, and shot toward the king. As the bowstring sounded, King Huan cried out and fell inside the chariot. As the nominal ruler of all under heaven, if the Zhou king were assassinated by a feudal lord, true chaos would indeed engulf the realm. So did King Huan survive? Please look forward to our next video. Chinese Historical Story 13. Goodbye. As you can see, historical China was made up of countless small states that fought endless wars against each other, gradually emerging into the China we know today. Over these thousands of years of integration, countless fascinating stories unfolded. I am a Chinese high school student, and in my free time, I create this video to share the stories that find most intriguing, thought-provoking, and fun stories that will help you understand China better. If you're interested in China, have any questions about the country, or need travel tips for an upcoming trip, feel free to leave a comment under my video. I'll do my best to reply as soon as possible and provide whatever help I can. Thanks for following and liking.